Hello, today I would like to talk about physical activity in children and the importance of creating a healthy future for our children. First off, I wanted to start with a short introduction. Children are naturally inclined to move around. If you've ever been around children, you most likely notice their need to move around a lot. And it can actually be quite difficult for children to sit still for an extended period of time. Children naturally learn through play and movement. Most children enjoy the creativity and physical movement that is associated with playing, and physical activity has many physical and psychological benefits. These benefits include physical benefits such as strengthening bones, muscles, the heart, and lungs. Physical activity also reduces risk of developing diabetes because it helps control glucose levels. It reduces the risk of becoming overweight or obese, which is a very prevalent issue among young children right now. It develops motor skills and also increases endurance. Non-physical benefits of physical activity include stress reduction. It increases self-esteem. It reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety. It increases memory and the ability to focus, and therefore also increases academic performance. Physical activity also builds social skills and social connections if children play together. Physical activity also has a great positive influence on the brain. Physical activity improves cognitive functions. The white matter of the brain, which is the part that carries nerve signals between the different brain regions, gets strengthened and is therefore leading to faster neural conduction. The other part of the brain, which is the gray matter, and the part that is responsible for memory and learning, is proven to grow in volume when somebody is physically active. There was a comparison between children who are physically fit and children who were not physically fit, and the children that were physically fit performed much better on academic tests. Cardiorespiratory fitness is important for children. They should be physically active for at least 60 minutes every day at a moderate to vigorous intensity. Vigorous intensity activities should be performed on at least 3 days per week. More is always better. The emphasis should be on health benefits rather than on VO2 max. Though injuries may occur when children are engaged in physical activity, the health risks are generally very low for children that have no previous health issues. There may have to be some special considerations for children who are known to have previous health issues. A variety of activities can contribute to cardiorespiratory fitness, such as soccer, tennis, basketball, running, cycling, swimming, walking, or hiking. Strength training is also an important part. It should be part of a child's physical activity and is recommended to be performed between 2 and 3 days a week on non-consecutive days. When starting a strength training program, it is important to know the child's health history and consider the child's physical and mental maturity. Trained personnel needs to be present and supervise the children at all times. Proper technique is very important to avoid injuries, especially because children's bodies are still developing. Some equipment may need to be adjusted to allow for proper form. Muscular endurance should be emphasized over strength, which means more repetitions with less weight. Here are some playful ideas for physical activity. There are many fun ways to incorporate physical activity in the form of games. For endurance activities, children could be playing tag, soccer, football, basketball. They could run around or jump rope. For strength training, children could climb on the playground, cross the monkey bars, or play tug of war with a rope. And for flexibility activities, some yoga could be incorporated either in PE classes or even at recess. There are several different field tests. One of those is the FitnessGram, which is the currently recommended field test to evaluate children's fitness levels. Since the emphasis of physical activity in children is on health benefits rather than on their performance, this test stays away from percentiles and uses criterion reference standards instead. The FitnessGram has 5 different components. The first one is aerobic capacity, which is measured with a pacer or 1 mile walk or run. Body composition with body fat percentage or BMI. Flexibility with sit and stretch test. Muscular strength with a curl up, and muscular endurance with flexed arm hang. There's great value in the FitnessGram. One person said we can't manage what we don't measure, which is a great point. This test allows us to see how physically fit children really are. We can track their progress over time and see what works and what doesn't. The FitnessGram allows us to create a healthier school environment and effective physical education. This test also helps us determine the correlation between physical fitness and academic performance. Some CDC statistics show that only about 24% of children get the recommended 60 minutes of daily exercise. Only 3.8% of elementary schools, 7.9% of middle schools, and 2.1% of high schools provide their recommended amount of physical activity. Only 67% of elementary schools offered recess 5 days per week for 20 or more minutes on average. So we see there is a great lack of physical activity during school hours, which presents schools with a very unique opportunity to engage children in physical activity. Children on average spend between 7 and 8 hours of their weekday at school. The CDC noticed the lack of physical activity opportunity and developed a comprehensive school physical activity program that helps schools promote physical activity. It includes physical activity during school, physical education during school, physical activity before and after school, staff involvement, and family and community engagement. Some ideas to increase physical activity at school would be to add another 15 minutes of recess where physical activity is encouraged with game equipment, balls, jump ropes, or scooters. Integrate physical activity into the classroom lessons. Use ideas from the Think 10 campaign. You can turn academic lessons into fun, physically active games, like having children jump as they count or have children spell out letters with their body. Here is a classroom activity example. And I want to thank you for listening to my presentation.